We're here at SHOT Show 2025, and I was walking around like I try to do on the last day, just to find some stuff I think might be interesting to you. And I came across the CMP, or Civilian Marksmanship Program booth. You guys are right out in Anniston, Alabama, kind of there, close to where I live. They have a great program. If you're not aware of it, I thought you might want to learn. So that's what's going up next here on Survival on Purpose. Survival on Purpose's coverage of the SHOT Show is sponsored by Hog Holsters, helping Americans wear guns, and Excess Sights, the fastest sights in any light. Hog Holsters and Excess Sights, both proudly made in the USA. So welcome back to Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2025 SHOT Show. I'm here with Luke from Civilian Marksmanship Program. They have a great program where you can buy historical firearms and own a piece of history that are really cool. So Luke, how's it going? Thanks for taking the
Pretty good, man. I appreciate you stopping by and letting us go ahead and talk to you and your constituents with this.
I appreciate you taking time on the last day of a long week to talk to us. So if I understand this correctly, Civilian Marksmanship is a program that if you're a civilian, you can buy a formerly military or government-owned firearm, or surplus, so to speak.
So vintage military surplus,
right,
is the exact way that it's framed up in our legislation.
And you can do that without going through an FFL, right?
Depending on what state you're actually dealing with, and if you're dealing with either the handguard or the rifles. So they have different legislations binding them. But yes, absolutely. Like if you live in a state that's not an FFL requirement, we can mail this straight to your front door, signature required.
So the two main firearms are the M1 Garand or Garand, however you want to say it.
However you want to say it. He was Canadian.
Yeah, or a 1911.
So in the pistol realm, all we have is the 1911. Because we have a specific amendment allowing it, and they were all from one specific base, from one specific warehouse, and what was in that warehouse.
Really?
That's the specific amendment we've got. Okay. Because our original charter states in the language, military surplus rifles of 30 caliber or 22 caliber only.
Okay.
So we have a specific amendment to this one for that one location.
Gotcha.
The pistols all must be transferred FFL to FFL regardless of what state you're in. However, with all of our rifles, depending on your state legislation, like say New York and California, we can ship it straight to your door without need of an FFL. Now in those states, we can still ship it to you. It just must go from FFL to FFL.
Right. Imagine that, California and New York, no.
Hey, shocker.
So tell us just a little bit about what to look for if you want to get an M1.
So if you're wanting to get an M1, you have two general ideas for it. Are you going to shoot matches and go and have fun with it? Or are you trying to collect it? If you're collecting it, you have a lot of different gradations you want to go through. If you're going to match with it, you have really two, because you're going to go and put a lot of commercial parts on it because you're not worried about wearing them out or ruining them or ruining a piece of history while still getting to play with a piece of history, right? And when you get into the collector side of it, you're going to look at specific things. You want to look at condition of the wood. You want to look at percentage of original finish, the types of parts on them, because there is a variation of parts that went on GI issued ones depending on the serial window and the age and the manufacturer. This one is a very rare one. It's actually an early Winchester, serial number 1234567, which is extremely rare, one of a kind even. And then you're going to have this one because this stock itself has its own rare qualities. So it's got the Springfield's cross cannons, but it also was actually used to build a Winchester. So you have a Winchester cartouche as well. Indicative of early Winchesters, they also have the deep proof stamp on the pistol grip. Okay, and you can even see here that all of the parts on this rifle are all WRA, standing for Winchester build. This one was even actually at one point armored by a Marine Corps armory as they put the Marine Corps stamp on it, which is just a punch mark because it's indicative of us in the Marine Corps. We hit it with a hammer, right? And then this one actually comes with a 1944 sling in original condition. Wow. That's why it has these patina to it. I'm just tickled that it's not dry rotted or bad, but here's your exact date for it.
Wow, that's great. So that sucker is 80 years old?
Mm-hmm. And then you get into other parts of it that are extremely rare. This is a flush nut system. By itself, it's extremely desirable for collectors. The original style op rod that's uncut is extremely desirable to collectors. These milled bands that you have here, these are extremely old and desirable because they didn't last because they were softer. You have the original push button front sight on a narrow base original gas cylinder. You even have the original milled version of the trigger guard. So there's a whole lot of rarity to this one rifle, which is why it's on display to show you an example of something that's truly collector grade.
So if somebody doesn't want to be an expert, right? Because learn all those things.
Learn all this.
What do they need to look for when they're looking at grades?
When they're looking at grades, to tell the difference between them, it's based on condition of the wood, percentage of original finish, and the number specs. You can actually see on the card, it tells you the muzzle reading, throat reading, manufacturer, and date that it was actually produced with the serial number for it. So you're going to have the throat reading. So every time you shoot a round through any firearm, you're going to be wearing out the throat. So that's indicative of how many shots have gone through this particular barrel. So you want to look at it, lower the number, the better. Nothing should be below 0. 0 plus would be perfect. And then as it climbs up, when you hit past 5, you're really losing potential of accuracy from it at that point.
Somebody goes on the website, that information is on there.
It's all on there. It's actually in each grade is fully listed in a description to what for you to expect. So it'll talk about percentages of original finish, the types of barrels versus op rods it's going to have, the types of wood it's going to have. And the lower you get on the list, the worse condition they're all in. So you have start off with the rack grade, which is at the bottom. Most of us consider that a parts gun because all the parts are there. We have built it. We have shot it. We don't sell a single firearm that we have not shot to prove service and safety. But its potential of accuracy is probably non-existent. You know, it's going to shoot all over the place with it.
So rack grade is the bottom.
Rack grade is the bottom.
Not necessarily great.
It's not great, but if you're looking for parts for, say, an M1 that you personally own and you want to get some parts for them, that's the best way to get legitimate parts that we know work. Because you can buy them individually from a variety of locations out there, but there's no guarantee of operation. Right. So people will go and they will purchase the entire rifle for all those parts as well. Then you get into the field grade. Field grade is the first real collectible rifle. And that one's where you're going to have like a minimum of half percentages of original finished parts. Over half of them are going to have original wood and original barrels, and they're all going to fire. You're going to have lower numbers on your throat and your muzzle. And then you get into your service grade, it's even going to be better. You're going to have all percentage. So 100% original finish, 100% original wood, 100% original barrel with good numbers.
So if you're looking for something to shoot,
if you're looking for something to shoot,
field or service at a minimum.
If you're looking for something that you're going to go out and shoot and play with, you want to take that other path and go with the expert grade. So you have an original GI receiver, but it's been commercially refinished. It's going to have a commercial stock, generally a DuPage stock, and you're going to have a commercial barrel. Currently, we put on Criterion barrels and Faxon barrels. So those are commercially made. But there's Douglas barrels that make them, Malcolms that make them. You can buy a barrel blank and cut your own if you have the skill set to do it. You know, that's immaterial for it, depending on your marksmanship level and your desire for what you're doing. But if you're going to get in the expert grade, you're going to have a nice, tight fit, new commercial stock with a very low number. It'll be 0 plus on muzzle and throat. And you're going to have all refinished parts. So your lifespan is huge because you have all tons of wear you can now apply to it and still maintain accuracy.
So if you're looking for something that is, you know, historically accurate, original, basically original, but still shootable.
But
Maybe
still
you're not going to
shootable.
win. You're not going to win a
Not
national
going to
match
win
with
nothing,
it,
right?
But you can shoot it without worrying about it, tearing it up, and then you're going for
Field and
or-
service.
Field and service, and if you want something that's really going to be like
a match worthy.
Yeah, not as original, but ready to go out and just rock
and roll and have fun with it. You're going to go with that expert path.
Cool.
Because those commercial parts, you can just wear them out and replace them. Wear them out and
Right.
replace them. You're not tearing up anything as far as historical significance.
Right.
You know.
What about the 1911s?
1911s, you're going to run into with us. They're all going to be in that same gradation, and a lot of that comes down to again original finish, pairing the slide to the frame. So a good paired slide frame is going to be service grade minimum. Right? When you start splitting them, so you have an Ithaca slide with a Colt frame, now you're in the field grade because now we've mixed manufacturers with it. And you're going to have either synthetic grips or wooden grips in various conditions from it. So your field grade is still your first collector because they are still original finish, original operation, but they don't match.
Yes.
Just like when they were re-armored in military service, they didn't match them there either. Once they start getting re-armored, they start playing with parts.
Right.
But when you get into the real collecting, you hit service grade, then correct grade, then collector grade. As you get more provenance, you get more accuracy in the date windows and matching everything together. So for all of the ones we sell, anything below field grade, you can go have fun with. You might as well replace parts. You might as well have some fun with it. because you're going to have a variability all over it. We even have a range grade where we've replaced the barrel, we've replaced some springs with commercial parts in them. So you can go out and shoot what looks like an original with some commercial parts.
And so if you can't remember all that, I would guess that basically the more you spend, the better you get. Is that pretty close to accurate?
To collecting, yes. For operation, what you really should do is go and get you a modern clone of it and go have fun. These truly are collector grade, even all the way at the bottom. They still have true provenance from all the way back to the early 1900s.
Really?
Right? So the pieces of them, even if it's not all the way matching, they're still the pieces are original from early 1900s.
But they're still fireable.
They're still, every firearm that we sell, we have by hand loaded them and shot them. Every one of our 1911s, we've shot an entire magazine through with the magazine we sell to you. So we know that magazine works in that pistol with regular ACP ammo.
Perfect. That's really good information. So the way they can find out is go to...
You can go to the CMP, so that's THECMP.org. That's our main landing page website. There's tabs all over to take you all across what we provide, from our youth education, our adult education, our marksmanship competitions where we travel across the country. You can go to our auction site where this M1D clone on the bottom here is actually listed on right now. It'll be up for bid for the next 8 days. Every Monday we put up new items. We put up the really collectible items on that auction because we don't have enough of them to just put them on a shelf. So we want the people who are the most interested in availability to get them.
Right. So if you're watching this video, I think that means you can use Google. I'm sure you can find them.
You can Google it. If you type in CMP, we're the top one that pops up.
Yeah, and so every Monday for the new stuff coming out. And one last question.
Yep.
I've heard you have like some kind of range out there.
So in Talladega, we have a 580-acre range where we have a shotgun loop, skeet, clay. We have a known distance range of 200, 300, and 600-yard lines with electronic targets, so you never have to move and go down range and pull targets. You can just sit there and ask the range officer to raise and lower your target, and you have a digital display of what is happening. We also have a known distance range for the 50 and 100-yard line. We have an unknown distance all the way out to 600 for people that want to shoot silhouette or PRS style. And then we also have 15 action pistol bays where we host events like the Glock Challenge or the IDPA Worlds and USPCA. We do all of those wonderful things out there.
So anybody can come to Talladega and shoot?
From Wednesday through Sunday, you can come there from the range opens. The gates open at 9, but the ranges don't open until 11 because of county ordinance for noise. So the ranges actually go live at 11 o'clock, and they stop depending on daylight. It's either 4 or 6 o'clock, depending on the time of the year.
Very nice.
And we also have Camp Perry, Ohio. So if you're in that part of the country, Camp Perry has hosted the national matches with the CMP since 1907. And they have a ton of ranges out there. They have the Gary Anderson indoor air rifle range. They have the 3P small bore and rimfire matches and competitions. They actually host the Olympic trials at both that location and the Anniston location at the Judy Legursky Center.
Very, very cool, very cool. So Luke, thank you so much.
Thank you so much for your time, Brian. I appreciate you coming by our booth, man.
Thank you for taking your time on a very, very long week, after a very, very long week. And thank you for watching Survival on Purpose coverage of the 2025 SHOT Show. Remember, survival is not an accident, so be prepared. I'll see you next time.